Well, pharmaceutical giant Merck has asked the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to authorize emergency use of a pill to treat mild to moderate cases of COVID-19. Now, the request from the American drug maker comes after it submitted data from the Phase 3 clinical trial. And viral sequencing done so far shows that the pill is effective against all coronavirus variants, including the Delta variant. And it could change clinical management of the virus because the pill can be taken at home rather than at the hospital. So let's talk more about this potential huge development in the way we're treating COVID-19. We're turning now to Dr. Ricardo Nuila. Now, he is the attending physician and hospitalist at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas. We've reached him today near Sheridan, Wyoming, where he is working on a book on the U.S. healthcare system. Dr. Nuila, thank you so much for making time for us today.
Thank you, Natasha, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. Happy early Thanksgiving to you. So let's maybe potentially give thanks for this game-changing news.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Merck and this pill. And it hasn't been approved yet. They're hoping to get it approved. But what have the initial clinical tests found in terms of what the pill is able to do?
Well, the initial tests have found that it prevents hospitalization and death when given in an outpatient setting, meaning before people come to the hospital, they can take a pill and it can prevent them from being sick enough to go to the hospital. The study was actually stopped because the data was so strong. It was a 50% reduction. And that's why Merck has applied for emergency authorization from the FDA.
And what do you think the likelihood is of it getting approved?
Right now, I mean, I trust the process of the FDA parsing through the data. I think that that's important, but it sounds like it's a pretty significant, pretty strong case that Merck has.
And if it gets approved, how quickly do you think it'll be readily accessible to people?
Well, given the emergency authorization, how that works, and what we've seen with the vaccine, but also with remdesivir and emergency authorizations, I think it'll be very quick for that to unfold and for us to start seeing it as doctors utilizing it in the hospitals.
So let's talk about...
I mean outpatient. I meant as an outpatient.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to clarify with you, because the way we understand it is you don't need to go to the hospital to get this medication.
Correct.
So would I just go to a pharmacy? Would I need a doctor's prescription? How exactly would this work if I were in the United States?
Right. It would probably be that you would contact your primary care doctor, who it could be through Zoom or it could be through phone. When you start manifesting signs of COVID, and that would be called to the pharmacy, and you'd pick it up at the pharmacy. You or a loved one would pick it up at the pharmacy, and you would take it. And right now, the statistics show that it would be much less likely that you would get very ill from it.
So can you help me understand the difference between what the vaccines do and what this pill could do?
Sure. So the vaccines would prevent severe illness, and also it has the vaccines help prevent transmission also of the virus. So the vaccines help your immune system so that when you are exposed to it, you do not become infected and that you don't transmit the virus. Whereas this medication would be if you were to contract COVID, then in that initial time when you're starting to manifest symptoms or you feel like you've contracted COVID, it would help fight the COVID. It would help your immune system fight the COVID.
So would we be in a situation where someone is fully vaccinated, but they somehow manage to still get COVID-19? Would they be able to take the pill? Can you have both at the same time?
Yes, I believe, yes. It looks like the studies show that the pill is quite safe, at least compared to placebo. Now, we need FDA, I trust the FDA process to go through those side effects, but right now the initial data looks like it's safe, and there's no reason to think that you can't take one or the other. So I would imagine that both would be used concurrently for people who are vaccinated and might have COVID from this Delta variant or another variant that would come.
So let's say within a few weeks or a few months, this pill is out and people can get access to it. How do you think it would affect the management of COVID-19 and the trajectory of the cases in hospitals and beyond?
Well, speaking as somebody who works in the hospital, I welcome another tool to offload the intensive care unit, and especially the nursing and the staff that has to handle COVID on the front lines. I welcome that tool because I think that's the biggest benefit, is to what was the initial point, is to flatten the curve, meaning we cannot have too many patients for too few intensive care unit rooms. And so I think that, after the experiences of the Delta surge in Houston and in the United States, that's any tool is welcome. And I think this would help. The initial data shows that this would help. This is not a treatment for people who already have COVID and are already hospitalized. At least the studies don't show that. What this shows is that we can prevent people from even coming to the hospital, and that would offload it. And that would also help doctors do their job. Doctors and nurses and staff do their jobs with other patients who are not who have illnesses that are not COVID related, because a full ICU is not good for anybody. It's not good for society. It's not good for anybody. And so this could be a game changer with regard to that.
Okay, we'll keep watching. Author and physician Dr. Ricardo Nuila joining us from Sheridan, Wyoming. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thanks so much.